All right, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. It's May 31st, 2015, and today we are here with Aleksandra Magdziak Lopes. How you doing today?
Good, John. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you taking time. I know you're not feeling that well, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible.
Okay.
All right, I hate bringing up women's ages because I know they don't like it, but you are 35, right?
Yep, I just turned 35 in April, actually.
Okay, and you're fighting at super welterweight?
I actually fought most of my career at welterweight. I just recently made a little bit of a switch, but I'm kind of between the divisions. I can do either or.
Okay, now...
I think I'm more suited for welterweight.
Okay, are you right now living in Marshfield, Massachusetts then?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, but originally you're from Poland, right?
Yes, I was born in Poland. I grew up there, and I moved here when I was 16.
Okay, and your pro record right now is 12-3-2?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to get into that real quick. You moved over here when you were 16, so how did you find boxing?
I think accidentally, as a lot of other female fighters maybe, I was always an athlete and I participated in a variety of different sports. When I was in high school, I got into wrestling for a couple of years, and I really liked it. It was my first contact sports, combat sports. And when I graduated high school, I don't know, I really missed it. I dabbled in kickboxing a little bit, and then I sort of accidentally found a boxing class, and it just ended up being perfect. I really liked it from the beginning, and I stuck with it.
Okay, and I mean, you've actually had a pretty decent career so far. I mean, you've actually fought for a WIBA World Welterweight title. You fought for a WBC World Superweight Welterweight title. Unfortunately, I mean, you didn't take the victories in either one. But I mean, some people don't even get a chance to fight for a world title.
You know, it's true. I think when I started, I really wasn't sure where it was going to go, and I didn't have a specific goal to it. I just really enjoyed, training and fighting. Last year we had the opportunity to go to Sweden to fight for the WBC light middleweight title, and it was just an incredible experience. It really made me realize and put into perspective how far we've come and how much work we've done with it. So it was absolutely great. I actually would love to rematch Mikaela Lauren because we came extremely close to winning that title. We obviously fought in the backyard, and we ended up losing it very close, majority decision. And I think there was something left on the table. I think we had another shot at it. Maybe it would have gone differently. So, but yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great.
I was going to actually bring that up too because it was a very close fight, and I was going to ask you if there have been any talks between the two camps, if there's possibly going to be a rematch.
I don't know. I have not spoken with her directly, and I know that she sets up a lot of her fights. I have spoken with the promotional group that ran the last show in November when we went over there, and I did express my interest in rematching her and, even going over there again. However, I know she's fighting Hannah Gabriel in June, and they're trying to unify the WBO and WBC title. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, and I don't know if she has an interest for a rematch. So I'm not really sure at this point.
Okay. I know you brought up the fact that you were on the wrestling team when you came over here. Also, you used to play tennis and volleyball too, right?
Yeah, I used to run track and field as well. I've done a lot of stuff, basketball, volleyball, you name it. So I played tennis when I was younger for about 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, and also I know a lot of females have to supplement their income by taking other jobs or doing other things. Because unfortunately, I mean, you guys just don't get paid like the men do, which I think is kind of ridiculous. But you're actually an attorney too, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I actually work full-time for a law firm. I specialize mostly in workers' compensation, and yeah, I have, a steady full-time job, so that's obviously my main income source, and then boxing is, like a part-time job, to call it.
Okay, and also your trainer is actually your husband, Wayne Lopes. So I want to ask you, sometimes, because some fighters, they deal with their trainers, sometimes it gets emotional in the gym, but they can leave and they can go home and they can leave that in the gym. You can't do that because when you go home,
No.
you go home with your husband. So how do
Yeah.
you separate that?
I honestly don't think we have to. We just have a great connection. Him and I just really close. We are both really passionate about boxing. All kinds of shape and form. Attending shows, training, our own fights, going to other fights. There's a lot of stuff we do in boxing that we really enjoy and share. And I think honestly, like the time I spend in the gym training with him and going to sparring and all of that is probably my most fun time. I really wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. So there's no conflict and no emotions flying high. I mean, he's my biggest support system and really kind of the reason why I've been able to get where I'm at right now. So I wouldn't change him for anything.
Okay. Well, have you ever thought about going back to Poland and fighting someone in your home country? Do you want to do that before the end of your career?
Honestly, that was my biggest dream. I would absolutely love to go and fight in Poland. I think, like anything else, boxing is a business, so you keep in mind you want to put a fight on the show that sells tickets, and, since I haven't lived over there in so long, I'm sure it'll be an investment on part of the promoter. So I don't know how practically it will work, but if I ever had the opportunity, I would absolutely love to take it because they're just great. They're very exciting.
All right, well, let's talk about promoting women's boxing and boxing in general. I'm sure you're aware that Al Haymon and Greg Cohen and other guys are bringing boxing back to the national network. And just this past weekend, they've actually put some female fights on there. Do you feel that that's going to open more doors and promote female boxing? And do you hope to get on one of these networks?
I do. I know. The general truth is that female boxing, women's boxing is not promoted and not compensated the same way as men's boxing. And obviously, the lack of TV exposure has a lot to do with it. I think me personally, I don't think I ever had. I don't think I ever cared one way or the other about being on TV so much. It's not, it's not something that will make it or break it for me. I think more of a drawback I see in not being televised is the lack of corporate sponsorship. I follow a lot of the women MMA, and I'm friends with some MMA fighters, and I just feel like they, generally speaking, get a lot more money for their fights, and a lot of this content sponsorships in different shape, from logos on their gear to supplements to just, straight up money to put up the banner in the cage. And I feel like in women's boxing, these level of sponsorships are actually kind of non-existent. And I think that part of it is because, there is no exposure, not even online streaming for women's boxing or no TV time. And I think for a lot of the corporate sponsors, maybe it just doesn't make sense to invest their money when they don't reach the proper size of audience. So I think, with the TV time, I'd like to see that change as well, because as you said yourself, the compensation rate for female fights is just very poor in comparison to men. You can't really support yourself on that. But I wonder if that additional layer, if the sponsorships would actually make a little bit of a difference.
Well, I'm hoping that now that you guys are going to be showcased a little bit more on TV with these opportunities that are coming up, bringing all these different national networks, exposure with the boxing and not just the male. Like I said, this weekend there was 2 female fights, that maybe you guys will get offered bigger sponsorship and be able to get bigger paychecks. So maybe the door is, maybe it's slightly open, but it is open.
Yeah, I agree. And, I think it takes time. It's surprising because actually I think in Europe, the top female fighters in Europe do a little bit better, and they can actually, use boxing as their main income stream more so than here. And it seems like they do get the TV time and they do get those sponsorships, whereas here it's still just a very slow process.
Okay, now you haven't fought in a little over a year. Can you tell me why?
No, that's not correct. I fought in November in Sweden, and then we had a fight in February. I can't remember the date, 10th or 14th, and then we just fought on April 10th.
Well, why?
So we had 2.
Why did I not see those on when I looked at your record?
No, you should have seen it on Boxer. It's definitely there. We just fought a couple months ago. April 10th was our last fight, and the last two fights were local in Massachusetts. And then we have another one on tap coming up for June, hopefully. So.
Oh, so you do have a fight coming up in June?
Hopefully, yes. Yep. We're waiting for we're waiting to confirm the opponent and some logistics. If everything goes our way, then we should be fighting in June.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. Obviously, I read it wrong. Either that, or they had
No problem.
or they had the information wrong. One of the two, but that's good. No, that is good to know, though, that I was wrong and that you have been fighting. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean we've been busy, and I feel very lucky in that sense. I feel like we have a very good relationship with several promoters in the area, so. We've been able to stay pretty active over the years, and there's always fights that we are able to schedule. And honestly, in fact, I think that we've had even more opportunities. There's some fights we just couldn't have taken with our full-time jobs and as busy as we are. But yeah, we've been able to be very active, and I'm very happy with it.
All right. No, I actually just looked it up while you were talking, and I misread it and thought it said April 2014.
I gotcha.
So that is my fault. Also, I wanted to know, do you have any superstitions or rituals or habits that you do before a fight?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I think that my day always goes very much the same. I kind of have my little schedule for the day of the fight. I wake up, I have my breakfast, I have my hair done with the same hairdresser every time at the same time, and then I have a little relaxation time. But I don't think I have any superstitions or anything specific. I just kind of like to keep it basic, keep it on schedule.
So you just have some same habits.
Same habits, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Is there anything outside the sport of boxing that you love to do? A certain activity?
With the little time we have, we have a pretty broad circle of friends here, locally. So we socialize between fights. I do volunteer at a local boys club where we teach a weekly boxing class for kids and teenagers. So I do that. I do enjoy reading. We do live by the beach, so in the summer we try to spend as much time as possible there. Just trying to take my time and rest, because between obviously training and then working full time, it's a pretty full plate.
Okay, is there anybody that inspires you in your life inside and outside the ring? One person?
Oh, I would have to give this some thought. I don't know. I think inside the ring, Mikaela Lauren was my favorite female fighter. Obviously, from the current active fighters, I follow Cecilia Breakers, who's in my weight class, and I really like Christina Hammond, her style, her boxing. So, I try to, I watch their fights and try to pick up on some things. I think outside of the ring, honestly, I really look up to my husband. He's just a great person. And I've learned a lot from him as far as, dealing with people and handling situations and things like that. He's just a really, really great guy. So, I don't know. I'd have to use some thought, but that's what comes to my mind.
Okay, tell me something that your boxing fans don't know about you.
Oh, that's a tough one. I am extremely horrified of spiders. I don't like spiders. It has nothing to do with boxing. I don't know. I get nervous before fights, but I think everybody does. So I think that's a given. I don't know. I can't think of many things.
Well, no, the spider thing is good.
Yeah, pretty common fear out there.
So now you've been boxing for a while, so I want you to tell me if and like we just went over a lot of the different issues with the female boxing, but if a young female wanted to get into boxing, what type of advice would you give her?
I think I would say don't bank on it. I'd say don't make don't make the choice of putting all your eggs in that one basket. I think that, you know, having an education, having a job, all of this is very important. And I think even if you could make your money in boxing for a period of time, I think that, you know, it's a sport that by nature has a kind of a shorter shelf life, and eventually you do retire, and I think that you need to have a good plan afterwards. Because I think for everybody there just comes a point you can't fight any longer. So, you know, you have to have a backup plan as far as work and everything else. And then, you know, don't get frustrated. That will be the second thing. I think that it's not easy. I think it's not an easy sport for guys. And especially, and, you know, with women, there's just less opponents. They're more expensive because you fly everybody in. So you gotta be able to take all of that on and not get frustrated when you don't get results right away or when things aren't going exactly the way you want them to. I mean, it's not an easy commitment and it's definitely time consuming. I personally think it's well worth it. I love it, but it's a lot of work.
Okay, so how would you sum up your career to this point in one statement?
I'm not quite done. I think that was a statement. I'm not yet where I want to be.
Okay, I mean that's an honest statement.
Yeah, I got more in me. I feel like we go to the gym and I'm still learning things and I'm still figuring out I can do things that I wasn't able to do a year ago or 6 months ago. I feel like I'm still getting better. I still haven't reached that point where, you know, this is it. Which is great. And, you know, I wish, you know, you brought up the age. I wish I was 3 years younger. I wish I had a little bit more time in the sport. I don't know how much more time I have left. But I'm definitely not at the end yet. And I'm actually really looking forward to next few fights and seeing what else we can do and how much more we can improve. It's been a lot of fun.
Okay, would you be satisfied if you ended your career without having a world title? Or are you going to try to chase that one more time and try to get that belt?
I'm going to try to chase it. At this point, honestly, I would not be satisfied. I think that last year, you know, the trip to Sweden, it was just really, really incredible. And I realized, you know, we were right there. And, you know, it's always a risk when you go, you know, out of the country or, you know, you're fighting somebody else's backyard. And, you know, we took the risk and we knew well, you know, there's a possibility we might not get the decision if it's a close fight. But it just felt like it was so within my reach and kind of just slipped through my fingers. And it really left me hungry and it left me thinking that there's more we could do. So now I do want to chase it again. And I want to give it one more try. Definitely.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to end the interview. I appreciate your time, and I want to give you a chance to say something to your fans and your followers throughout your entire career.
I would really like to take the opportunity to thank everybody here locally who has been supporting us. I have some people that come to my fights that have been coming since my first amateur fight. It just has been incredible, the local support, and I think that is the reason why I've been able to stay so active and get on the local shows and do all of it, because we have a very, very supportive local fan base, and we just really appreciate it so much, because I know, you know, it takes something to purchase the tickets and drive to the fights and spend your evening there. There's a lot of other options that people have, but they choose to support us, and it's just very much appreciated, and we would like to really thank everybody for that.
All right. And with that, the truth has spoken.